Hello everyone, my name is Fauzy Firdaus. My student number is 201. Here I want to present a presentation from my group to discuss the element of poetry and type of poetry. However, I got the part to explain the meaning of the them. What is meant by the them? The them is a truth, lesson, or message about life. The them in a story is its underlying message or big idea. In other words, what critical belief about life is the author trying to convey in the writing of a novel, play, short story, or poem? Yes, this belief or idea transcends cultural barriers. It is usually universal in nature. When a theme is universal, it touches on human experience, regardless of race or language. It is what the story means. Often a piece of writing will have more than one theme. Okay, then the type of poetry. There are 15 type of poetry, but my part only explain 3. Namely, the first one is the blank verse. Then the second one is rhyme. And the third one is free verse.
Elements of poetry. In this slide, I will explain about rhythm. What is rhythm in poetry? Rhythm is the beat, sound, and feel of a poem. The word rhythm is derived from rhythmos or Greek, which means measured motion. Rhythm is a literally device that demonstrates the long and short patterns through stressed and unstressed syllable, particularly in verse form. English poetry makes us of 5 important rhythms. These rhythms are of different pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables. Each unit of these types is called foot. Here are the 5 types of rhythm. Number 1 is lamb, and then throat, 3 spoon, 4 dactyl, and the last is anapes. The short example of rhythm in poetry is, how do you pray looking at the tray? Okay, maybe that's all, and the next element of poetry will be explained with my partner. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Nadia Syifa, and here I'm going to explain about mood and matter in poetry. The first one is mood. Mood is also known as atmosphere. It is the overall feeling for the audience an author creates in his writing. When you read a text and you have a particular feeling that you associate with the descriptive language, you are experiencing the mood of the story. Mood is described with adjectives such as dark, warm, and foreboding, also peaceful. Mood is developed through setting, tone, and diction. Second one is meter. Meter is a unit of a rhythm in poetry. The pattern of the beats. It is also called foot. Each foot has a certain number of syllables in it, usually 2 or 3 syllables. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sakuni Thrishna. So next I'm gonna explain you about rhyme and line. So first let's talk about rhyme. So rhyme is the repetition of identical or similar concluding syllables in different words, most of at the end of lines. Rhyme is predominantly a function of sound rather than spelling. The rhyme scheme of a poem describes the pattern of and rhymes. For example, consonant-ending rhyme. Let's take vein, rain, and lane. And next, let's talk about lines. So in poetry,
Next, I'm going to explain about stanza. Stanza is a group of lines in a poem.
Okay, then I will discuss about the type of poetry. The first one is blank verse. What is blank verse? Blank verse is poetry written with a precise meter, almost always iambic pentameter, that does not rhyme. In other words, any poetry that does have a set metrical pattern but does not have rhyme. Shakespeare frequently used unrhymed iambic pentameter in his plays. His works are an early example of blank verse. Then the second one is rhyme. In contrast to blank verse, rhyme poems rhyme by definition, although the scheme varies, refers to the repetition of sound of poem. Various types of rhyme are possible. However, in English, we usually use the term rhyme to refer to the repetition of the final sound in a line or an rhyme. Letters are often used to denote a rhyme scheme. A new letter is ascribed to each of the different sounds. For example, in the following example, the rhyme scheme is described as A, B, A, B. Okay, then the third one is free verse. Free verse is poetry that lacks a consistent rhyme scheme, metrical patterns, or musical form. Most modern poetry no longer follows strict rules of meter or rhyme, especially throughout an entire poem. Moreover, modern poets do like to throw in the occasional line or phrase of meter poetry, particularly if they are trying to create an certain effect. Free verse can also apply to a lack of a formal verse.
I'm Ghifari, and in this slide I will continue the presentation of my friends, I will explain about epics, narrative, poetry, and haiku. What is an epic? An epic poem is a lengthy narrative work of poetry. These long poems typically detail extraordinary feats and adventures of characters from a distant past. The word epic comes from the ancient Greek term epos, which means story word poem. Epic poems trace back to some of the earliest human civilization, both European and Asian. Later, English language epics were written in Spenserian stanzas and blank verse. An archetypical epic poem typically is written in a formal style, contains third-person narration and an omniscient narrator, frequently in folk muse, who provides inspiration and guidance to the poet. Takes place in an era beyond the range of any living memory. Typically includes a journey across a variety of settings and terrains. Feature a hero with immense bravery and resolve. Includes obstacles and circumstances that are otherworldly and even supernaturally, pitting the hero against nearly insurmountable odds. Looks with concern to the future of a civilization or culture. What is an narrative poetry? Narrative poetry is a form of poetry that tells a story, often making the voice a narrator and character as well. The entire story is usually written in metered verse. Narrative poems do not need rhyme. Narrative poetry is similar to an epic. Narrative poem tells a story. The poems that make up this genre may be short or long, and the story it relates to may be complex. It is normally dramatic with objective, deserve, and matter. And the last is, what is a haiku? Haiku is a form of Japanese poetry made of short, unrhymed lines that evoke natural imagery. Haiku can come in a variety of different formats of short verse, though the most common is a 3-line poem with a 5-7-5 syllable pattern. Some translators argue that 12 English syllables would correlate more closely to the 70 sounds called on used by Japanese haiku poets. Another structural difference borne out by translation is that Japanese haiku are written straight across in one line, while English-speaking poets use line breaks to separate their poem into 3 lines. Next, in this slide, you will see some example of 3 types of poems that I have described above. Epic section, there are examples with Beowulf is an old English poem. And then narrative poetry with example of Alfred Lord Tennyson, Ideals of the King. And the last is haiku with classic haiku by Matsu Baso. Maybe that's all, and next presentation will be continued by my partner. Thank you.
Then I will continue explain about the types of poetry. The first one is pastoral poetry. It is known for exploring the relationship between humans and nature, also for romanticizing the ideals of a simple country life. Basically, it explores the fantasy of withdrawing from modern life to live in an idyllic rural setting. Pastoral poetry is originated in the Greek Hellenistic period. Some common themes and motifs that characterize the pastoral motto are: 1. A beautiful nature setting. 2. Shepherds as a central characters. 3. Focus on life in the country rather than reality. 4. The working belief that country life is superior to urban life. What are conventions of pastoral poetry? Here are four notable subgenres of the pastoral poem. First one is the country house poem. Second one is the pastoral elegy. The third one is pastoral romance. The fourth one is pastoral drama. The next type is sonnet. Sonnet, from the Italian word sonetto, meaning little song. It is a lyric poem usually with 14 lines of iambic pentameter and a set rhyme scheme. While sonnets can explore all sorts of themes, love is the most common and the original topic of the sonnet. The sonnet takes many forms, including the Spenserian sonnet and Miltonic sonnet, which is just fine to say, but the two most studied sonnets are the Italian sonnet, known as the Petrarchan sonnet, and the English sonnet, known as the Shakespearean sonnet. Each type uses its 14 lines for different purposes and with different rhyme schemes.
Hello everyone, my name is Sakuni Thrishna and I'm gonna continue explaining. So I'm gonna explain about ode, limerick, and literature. So first let's talk about ode. So ode is much like an elegy, and ode is tribute to its subject, although the subject might be dead or even sentient. So ode is a literary technique that is lyrical but not very lengthy. You have often read odes in which poets praise people, natural scenes, and abstract ideas. So it is highly solemn and serious in its tone and subject matter. So usual ode is used with elaborate patterns of stanzas. However, the tone is often formal. A silent feature of ode is its uniform metrical fit, but poets generally do not strictly follow this rule, though use highly elevated them. Limerick is a poem that consists of 5 lines in a single stanza with a rhyme scheme of A, Okay, got it? So the next is the last thing that I'm gonna explain is lyrical poetry. So lyrical poem is a short, emotionally expressive poem with a song-like quality that is narrated in the first person.
Hi everyone, my name is Salsabilla Handayani and my last student number is 200. Here I'm going to continue my friends explaining about types of poetry, and I'm going to explain three types of poetry. The first is ballad. A ballad or ballad is a form of narrative verse that can be either poetic or musical. And the second is soliloquy. A soliloquy is a monologue in which a character speaks to him or herself, expressing inner thought that an audience might not otherwise know. And the last is villanelle. Villanelle is a 19-line poem consisting of 5 tercets and a quatrain with a highly specified internal rhyme scheme.